Hello everybody, I'm Max Power and welcome to the Meat Lover channel. I just woke up, so I thought now was the perfect time to do a video about kind of a follow-up to the Digital Spark unboxing and stuff I did a few weeks back. Now, the Spark is standing right here next to me, and this is the microphone you're listening to at the moment. The old Yeti, I got rid of that and gave that to Hillian. And well, the reason why I'm doing this video is because I have learned a couple things about this microphone in the time that I've owned it. First of all, it's a little bit strange. I was kind of looking at that plug when I unboxed it originally, and I was kind of wondering whether it was a proprietary plug. It is proprietary, which is kind of a bummer because that means that you cannot just hook up a longer cable to it. You have to kind of get some kind of an extension. Well, I mean, it's a plus and minus thing because it's very easy to pick up noise through a long USB cable. If the USB cable isn't made well, it's going to pick up a lot of noise, and it's going to be really difficult to get rid of. So with that in mind, I was kind of a little bit scared when I figured out that I couldn't change the USB cable because, well, I was afraid it was going to pick up noise. It doesn't really tend to do that. It's actually a really good USB cable. It's also shorter, so there's ups and downs to that. But I figured out a way to connect it up to my stuff without having it look ugly. It looks just fine, and I've just decided to leave it where it is because with the longer or the shorter USB cable, it's not really conducive to hanging on a normal mount. So I'm just going to keep it on the stand for now. That's a bit of a bummer. I'll say that's a bit of a bummer. And I haven't really been able to find any sort of longer USB cables for it, sort of just a standard plug, just longer. But something like the 3 to 5 meters would be pretty nice to have as an option, but you don't. But, whatever. It's fine. I can deal with it. The other thing I figured out, which was a little bit strange, is that when it turns blue, you can turn it up and down. That's actually, I thought that was supposed to be the mic volume gain, because it did increase mic volume. That is not the case. That's supposed to be a headphone volume gain. To get the microphone volume gain, you have to hold down the button and it turns orange. And then you can turn it around and you get your volume gain. It's a little bit weird. I did test it because I thought I was going nuts. Because I was like, well, if this is a headphone gain, not a microphone volume gain, then why is this a placebo effect? Is it because I thought it was a mic volume gain? I thought it increased the sound. It does increase the sound. I can demonstrate it for you right now, actually. I just have to switch it back from the volume gain to the other one. Now you have the headphone volume, and it's at 1 out of the 4. And when I turn it up to the maximum, right there, I'm probably getting louder. At least that's what I've experienced. I don't know how much it interacts with the other settings and so forth, so we'll listen to it afterwards, but I'm pretty sure that's at least increased it before, so I'm turning it right back down. So what's interesting, that is kind of a little bit odd. The other kind of odd thing I noticed, and I think that's a computer issue, my computer has just terrible USB ports in terms of power for audio devices. I have constant issues with audio devices. I bought an Oppo HA1, which is a big headphone amplifier with both a DAC and an amp part. And when I first tried to hook that up through USB, I couldn't get it to work at all. And when it worked for like brief periods, it would sound absolutely awful. It would just robot everything. It was just god awful. And when I hooked it up through a SPDIF, some kind of optical cable or whatever, it would sound just fine. So that's how I ran it for a long time. And then I got the AudioQuest Jitterbug, which I know is pretty controversial kind of piece of gear. Those little USB power cleanup, fix things are very, very controversial. The thing is, though, they really work. At least the Jitterbug does. I hooked up the Jitterbug to set up my Oppo amplifier, and after that, it worked brilliantly. Sounded great, and there was no issues. So something there is totally wrong. The other thing is with the Digital Spark here, I had to unplug the microphone every time I turned on the computer because it wouldn't really turn on the microphone. It was sort of kind of turned on. There wouldn't be any light in it, but the computer would pick up some sound. It was really strange because it didn't seem to sort of send that sound to programs, but it did show up. Like the mic was not on, the mic was off, but it somehow in the Windows microphone settings, you could see that it was there even though it was not turned on, and the little volume thing would go up when I spoke. It was very weird. I hooked the Digital Spark up with the Jitterbug, and all those problems were solved. So I am pretty sure that's my PC. Again, terrible USB ports. I've had so many issues with audio devices over the years. So that's probably it. But if you're having issues with a USB device, you just can't get it to properly function, I would try getting one of those AudioQuest Jitterbugs. They're not that expensive, and they're really, really good. And they're really good for a lot of different audio applications, especially, I mean, even just regular stuff that doesn't work. It just kind of seems to fix stuff up. It also reduces any kind of noise if you're having any kind of a weird static noise or something from your microphone or from your headphones or something. It's really useful. I don't know why I have so many issues with it. I have a pretty decent power supply and so forth. I don't really know where in the chain it's fucking up, but it does, so... but yeah, after that, it's been working just fine. It also sort of seemed to change the volume some. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. The proprietary plug is a bit of a bummer, and you can get plenty of gain out of it once you get the real gain setting, but the whole interaction between the headphone and the microphone gain is really a bit strange to me. It's not a huge deal breaker, it doesn't really change much, but it's a little bit weird. I'm still really happy with the microphone. It still sounds really good to me. When I hear Chris or Hillian or whatever the name he has these days with my old Yeti, it really does sound kind of hollow and tinny in the way that I didn't really enjoy that much. It's a good microphone. It's an upgrade for him, but for me, this is definitely better. It's a very reasonable purchase, I think, and I still stand by my sort of saying that this is a lot cheaper than the Yeti because the Yeti needs all these extra things and accessories to work. Although I will say that the Yetis are a little bit more versatile considering the ability to get a longer USB cable simply. So it's a lot easier to sort of hang up and do things with than the Blue here. So I'm gonna have to, like, they do, like, in the manual they do say that they don't recommend you use a USB extension cable or a USB hub with the Spark, but I don't really know how I'm gonna pull that off. I'm gonna get like a standing desk in a few months, and at which point I'm gonna have to find a solution for the computer. I don't really want to hang it from the desk, but I might have to because of the Spark, because the cord just isn't long enough for me to stand by the computer. So yeah, it would be nice if Blue would release some proprietary, at least like just a little adapter, because I don't need the headphone jack. I would never use that as a headphone amplifier. I have no reason to have like instant feedback when I record, because really all I do is I talk to people over Skype while I play video games, and then, you know, this video every once in a while, something like that. So, but yeah, that's sort of a bit of a follow-up on the Digital Spark. Still highly recommended, but there are quite a few kind of annoying, weird downsides to it. And get a Jitterbug. Get a Jitterbug. It is very good. See ya.